Oh, I bet you these are the people I threw out of work. Start storefronts. Yeah, I got to close these businesses. Oh, you closed schools. Yeah, I threw all these children out of school. Yeah. Remington. Which is the two? Oh, I didn't know there were people down here. On Kfi. KFI, AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Good morning, Bill Handel Show. He's coming along at 9 o'clock. Find out what's on his mind today. He's getting closer and closer to being all recovered from that heart valve replacement surgery. Let us start Handel on the news with Jennifer Jones-Lee and me. The lead story, the recall campaign. Now, there's some polling that's pretty interesting because if I told you that in San Francisco, for example, that a significant majority of people responding to polls said they want to keep Governor Newsom, you would kind of look in the sky and go, duh, of course, that's what I expect from those people. But even out in the Inland Empire here in Southern California, where the Republican Party still actually is kind of relevant, 54% oppose the recall compared to 46 who want it. That's in the Orange County, San Diego region. No, that's out in the San Bernardino. Sorry, that's the San Bernardino Riverside numbers. 54 want to keep him. 46 want to get rid of him. Orange County, San Diego region, 50% want to keep him. 45% want to get rid of him. The margin of error is only 3.4%. So these numbers are outside the margin of error. That's pretty surprising because if you can't get a majority to recall him in San Bernardino County or San Diego, he's going to keep his job.
See, I found this story hard to believe. I read it in the LA Times, and immediately I went, okay, it was a poll done by the LA Times. But then, secondly, I just know that when I take the dogs on walks at night, there are recall Newsom banners and what do you call it, like the little yardstake signs all over the place. There are Larry Elder signs all over the place. And so when I read this, I thought, well, maybe that's just not in my particular neighborhood here in Rancho Cucamonga, but on the street corners, they have recall Newsom signs almost every weekend, or they'll have like sign up here for the recall. And I don't know. So what I'm seeing in this poll doesn't necessarily mirror what I see on the streets out here. However, maybe it's a smaller vocal minority than I knew, than I realized.
If you drill down, let's say, to zip code, you're going to see numbers all over the map.
Sure.
I'm sure there are plenty of zip codes in this state where the people supporting the recall are in a significant majority. One thing I just want, the poll was commissioned by the Times, but it was conducted by the Public Policy Institute of California, which is a nonpartisan
which is nonpartisan
place. So here's the other thing, though, that could explain why you're seeing so many signs. People who want to recall him, number one, they're all of the same mind, which is we want him out. And they're very enthusiastic to share that with the world, that they want him out. People who support keeping him are not necessarily as enthusiastic.
Oh, that's so true.
And not as willing to say, look at me, I'm voting to keep him, because it's not the same direct, pure level of support for what you're voting for. A lot of the people that are voting to keep Newsom are voting for weird reasons. Not weird, that's pejorative, but not because they like Newsom. I guess that's what I'm saying. They're not voting to keep him because they like him. They're voting to keep him because they don't like Larry Elder, or they feel it'll just be too much of a disruption, or it's kind of a vote against recalls generally.
Yeah.
And so you're not, the fact is there's not the same groundswell of enthusiasm for Governor Newsom, and so fewer people are probably going to put signs on their front yard. I wouldn't. I voted to keep him. We already talked about this because I can't deal with Governor Larry Elder for 2 years or whatever it would be, and then he's not going to be the governor after that, and he's just going to go in there and do some stuff and cause a lot of chaos. But it won't be permanent change for the state. It'll just be momentary chaos, and then we'll have another Democrat, and they'll undo. Because the only things that a Governor Larry Elder could do are things that can be undone by the next governor. So we'll have this little period of time, and everybody will have to relearn some things, and then boom, that'll be over, and we'll go back to the way it was. And what's the point? I have enough chaos in my life. So, but notice I haven't said one good thing about Gavin Newsom. And I don't think have I ever said anything glowing about Gavin Newsom on this show?
I think you've talked about his hair. I think you've said
not
he has
positively? No, not positively. That helmet? No. So I think that explains this phenomenon.
Yeah, I think so too.
That we're seeing.
All right, well, last week it was the California legislature that approved a bill that would ensure every voter in California could get a mail-in ballot. And the bill's been sent to the governor for the signature. That would mean that vote by mail could become permanent if the governor signs it, and more than likely they say he will.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Which is completely different than the voting rights bill that's going on in Texas, which is completely opposite of this.
Well, this is because we are more about letting our partisanship decide how we want to handle procedures. You'd think, particularly in the year 2021, with the whole history of campaigns and elections that we've had, and all the science that we have to research things, you'd think people who are free of bias would generally agree on what is the best approach to running elections, right? But instead, over here, it's like, make it as easy as possible to vote. And over here, it's like, no, we got to tighten up access to voting. So they both can't be right. At the end of the day, running an election is a public policy question. It's like, what's the best way to pave a road? You shouldn't have one group saying the best way to pave a road is to first put down this kind of a slurry and then put a middle coat of crushed aluminum cans, and then put a top coat with precisely this mixture of substances in it, and then seal it exactly this way, and another group going, no, that's completely wrong. You should have a layer of discarded fur coats on the bottom, and then a special kind of concrete that you can only make in Indiana because they're the only place that have the right amount of lime in their soil, and then you shouldn't seal it because it actually makes it harder later to go back and repair cracks, right? You would never see that. How about this? How should we build this airplane? Oh, we should build it all this way. No, we should do the opposite. It's crazy, right?
It is crazy.
So this is what's going on here in this country, is that it's partisanship first and common sense, not even common sense thrown out the window.
Yeah.
And that's why in one state they say the way to have a fair and secure election is no mail-in ballots, no drop-off boxes, no voting on Sunday. And another state says the way to accomplish the same goal is to do exactly the opposite. Let's get a news update from Jennifer Jones-Lee. We'll continue Handle on the News. It's KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Well, with COVID-19 on the rise again, so are unapproved snake oils to treat it, or horse paste, as some call ivermectin.
Podcaster Joe Rogan says he took it. InfoWars host Alex Jones appeared to take it and wash it down with a beer. And with COVID-19 surging again, federal officials have seen a surge in ivermectin prescriptions this summer, along with increasing calls to poison control centers and hospitalizations. The American Medical Association has called for an immediate end to ivermectin's use for COVID. The drug's approved in the U.S. to treat infections from parasites in humans and animals like cows and horses, hence the horse paste moniker, but it's not approved for COVID and hasn't been shown to combat the virus. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
News is brought to you by American Vision Windows. A coalition of businesses and health organizations says workers in the U.S. should not object to vaccine mandates put in place by employers. The Health Action Alliance says the FDA's approval of the Pfizer vaccine should reassure people who are hesitant about getting vaccinated. Managing Director Stephen Massey says businesses are key to creating safer workplaces and stronger communities.
A recent polling from the Kaiser Family Foundation shows that adults who work for a company that encouraged vaccinations and offered paid time off for vaccine appointments are considerably more likely to get vaccinated.
Massey says up to 40% of employers in the U.S. are considering putting vaccine mandates in place. The Board of the Human Rights campaign has fired its president. ABC's Derek Dennis says Alfonso David was named the New York State Attorney General's report for helping former Governor Cuomo respond to the sexual harassment allegations that forced him to resign from office.
He released a statement saying the board unjustly provided notice of termination to me in order to end my fight for the integrity of the review process and for what is right.
David says as a black gay man, he spent his whole life fighting for civil and human rights. And if you're a fan of taking selfies, there's now a museum in Texas dedicated to it.
But first, let me take a selfie.
Downtown San Antonio opened the Texas Selfie Museum over the weekend. Visitors can have access to more than 24 different backdrops for inspired selfies. The settings include accessories such as a wall of mirrors, disco balls, and bathtubs, all enhanced by professional quality lighting. Guests are encouraged to take pics with their cell phones or bring a camera if they'd like. Tickets can be purchased online or in person and range from $22 to $25. Andrew Caravella, KFI News.
Can you guys help me pick a filter?
Let's check your drive on the 110 again.
All right, you betcha. If you've been listening for a while now, coming up from South LA for the North 110, listen, this could play out for a while. Unfortunately, I'll get some more details on this crash. It's North 110 at 3rd, right in the middle of downtown Los Angeles. But unfortunately, much earlier, there was a pedestrian actually on the freeway that was hit by a car. So that's what's going on. It is going to take a while. Now, what are blocked is the collector lanes coming up from 9th, and the 3rd Street off-ramp is shut down. If you're north on the 110 now, headed into any of the office buildings downtown Los Angeles, I'd get off at 9th. Your last chance is Wilshire. After that, things are really, really jammed up. Now, the main lines remain open. Northbound 110 is kind of slow coming up from South LA, but it's really starting to back up because everybody's looking to the right here from around the 10 freeway. So again, main line's open, just the collector lanes, northbound 110 and 3rd. Diamond Bar crash, things are settling a little bit, but there's definitely a crash at E60 at Diamond Bar, just past the split, but unfortunately it's really slowing kind of the westbound drive coming away from the 71. San Fernando Valley still looking pretty good. As a matter of fact, as I speak to you now, we just turned north over the Arroyo Seco, coming out of South Pasadena. This section of the 110 looks pretty good, southbound in good shape. Injured in an accident, visit superwoman.superlawyer.com. Jeff Baugh, KFI in the sky.
It's the word mattress stores can't stop shouting every Labor Day holiday. Sale! Sale!
Right, Dad. Every mattress store advertises their huge Labor Day sale, but only Sit and Sleep has technology that actually helps you choose the right one.
Because only Sit and Sleep has FitMatch technology that scientifically recommends the level of support that's right for you.
So why look for a low price on the wrong mattress when you can get the lowest prices of the year on the right one during Sit and Sleep's Labor Day sale?
Save 50% off select mattresses from Sealy, Beauty Rest, and Kingstown. And with your good credit, pay 0% financing for 36 months on purchases of $19.99 and above with 10% down and your minimum monthly payments.
Plus, save $700 on temper adjustable sets. And try beds from Casper, Nectar, and Hybrid Infinity, all on sale. So this Labor Day, trust your sleep to Sit and Sleep.
And forget all those mattress stores screaming, sale, sale.
Since when don't you like screaming, Dad?
Very funny, Drew.
SoCal weather from KFI, mostly sunny with highs low 70s at the beaches. We'll make it into the mid to upper 80s for Metro LA and OC, upper 90s to low 100s for the valleys in the IE, and we do have a heat advisory in the Inland Empire through Friday night. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Life is full of surprises. And one of the worst surprises you can experience in life is when you get into an accident and you're injured. That's where my friends at Sweet James Accident Attorneys come in. You see, personal injury is the only thing Sweet James does. They've helped thousands of listeners just like you get the medical treatment they really need and recover millions of dollars every month. There's no justice in accepting a low offer from the insurance company after your injury has changed your life. You're going to need help navigating the legal system to make sure you get medical care, vehicle repaired, and the most amount of money possible. And you won't pay a dime until they win your case. If you've been injured in an accident, call Sweet James for a free consultation. 800-500-5200, 800-500-5200, or sweetjames.com. Join us on Wednesday, September 15th as we celebrate the 40th anniversary of Fernando Mania. Be here as the Dodgers play the Diamondbacks and arrive early, since the first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Fernando Valenzuela bobblehead presented by Kfi Am. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
If you're self-employed and have been denied by traditional lenders, Equinox Home Financing can help. You shouldn't be penalized for being an entrepreneur. Instead of using tax returns, they use personal or business bank statements for income. Go to equinoxhomefinancing.com.
Licensed by the California Department of Real Estate and the California Department of Financial Oversight, NMLS number 1212-805.
Have you received your free AAA full picture quote? It gives you a 360-degree view of your auto insurance quote. From premiums to coverages to discounts. Visit AAA.com/insurance to see how much you could save.
Sunlux, the company that does solar better. Go solar today at sunlux.com.
For official rules and more information about contests on this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules. KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
24-hour news. More stimulating talk.
The mirror's image, it tells me it's on time, but I'm not finished.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. It is the Bill Handel Show. Bill's going to be here at 9 o'clock. We'll find out what's on his mind vis-a-vis the news of the day. Let's continue Handel on the news. Jennifer Jones-Lee and me. Well, you know, yesterday was kind of good news, where some people were allowed to go back to their homes in South Lake Tahoe. Firefighters finally making some progress, at least slowing the advance of the Calder fire. And now there's a bunch of other fires cropping up all over the place. Up in Sonoma County, more than a dozen fires just yesterday popped up. Now, they've been able to get a handle on most of these fairly quickly, thank goodness. But it's just another headache that they don't need. Also, Amador County, isn't that where the Calder fire is?
I think in part, yeah.
Yeah, part of it. Well, now there's the Lawrence fire that's been burning since Sunday. They had some road closures. They did have some evacuations, although that Lawrence fire is almost 90% contained. Bridge fire, a little further north of there. So, and then, hey, let's not leave out our southern friends.
Oh, no.
To the south, San Diego County, the Aruba fire started Sunday afternoon. Again, kind of got it surrounded fairly quickly, but you just see, it's like every time you turn around, another fire's popping up. And when was the last time we even did an update on the specifics of the Dixie fire?
Right.
And that just illustrates, right, how, and every year it's more and more and more and more to the point where you can't even keep up with all of the major destructive fires that are going up, because it would be 4 hours of fires update. And nobody wants that.
I did a story earlier with the National Weather Service, and one of the meteorologists was essentially saying, he was talking about how this week we've got a heat advisory in effect in the Inland Empire through 9 o'clock on Friday night. And essentially he was saying, you should put together a fire kit. So now you'll have your earthquake kit, but then you'll have your fire kit, which is essentially a go kit. Something that you are ready to go during wildfire season, that you have an evacuation route, you have a process planned, you have your go bag kind of ready to go. And it you know what is weird? It absolutely makes sense. In their brains, we have had it beat into us, put together an earthquake kit. Just as quickly, honestly, you have a fire pop up in your backyard. Absolutely makes sense. Why wouldn't I have a backpack under my bed that's ready to go at any time.
Can't they be the same kit?
Yes
or
and no.
close to the same? Can it be two bags? Basically, one is the bug out bag, which would be equally applicable for fires or earthquake. The other would be the earthquake supplies.
Sure.
The food,
sure.
the water, the longer term stuff. But you're right. You have to think about fires now the same way that some people have been thinking about earthquakes.
All right, some of the people who were able to go back to their homes in the South Lake Tahoe area have been told you might have a new friend waiting for you when you get home, because apparently they have seen this surge in bear break-ins. Because bear break-ins in Tahoe are not uncommon at all. I mean, it happens a lot that you'll hear these stories of a bear breaking into a house to get food, or a window was left open, and it reminds me of the old grandma made a pie and put it on the window to cool kind of thing, and the bear walked by and smelled it and was like, sweet, thanks, Grandma. It's that same kind of thing, but with humans away for more than a week, these bears got bolder. They started going into areas. They might have gotten burned out of the areas that they were used to inhabiting. No. What's the word I'm looking for? Inhabiting, thank you. And then now they were like, hey, the Smith family's gone. We can go take over their place. And that's what they're seeing more and more. So they're just telling people, hey, when you go home, don't be surprised if you walk in the door and there's Yogi and, his buddy on the couch.
Guess we'll see a lot more TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Well, as if the Gulf Coast doesn't have enough problems trying to get back to normal after Hurricane Ida, you need any construction done, you're going to be waiting a long time. You're going to be paying through the nose because there's a shortage of supplies and a shortage of workers. So that's the two things you need, right?
Yeah.
It's a 100% shortage of the things you need to get, for example, your roof repaired. And that's just on top of the fact that there's still parts of New Orleans, for example. There's still parts of New Orleans that haven't fully been rebuilt and recovered from Katrina. Not to mention, what was that hurricane last year? Laura? Yeah, Laura. So you've got, there's still, it's like they can't get out from under the damage already done, and then here comes another hurricane.
Right.
There is a point at which you really have to wonder, why live there anymore?
Yeah.
I know Chumbawamba and everything, I get knocked down, but I get up again. But isn't there a point, even Chumbawamba at some point, I think, would say, all right, that's enough getting knocked down all the time. I'm not going to get up again. I'm going to crawl away and live somewhere else. Let's get a news update, and then we'll finish up Handle on the News. It's KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Well, the nation has set another milestone when it comes to COVID-19. More than 40 million infections have now been reported since the pandemic started. Daily cases have quadrupled since this time last year. The Justice Department is vowing to protect women trying to get an abortion in Texas. Attorney General Merrick Garland says his office is urgently looking at options to challenge the state's new law. And Netflix is out with a new documentary that previews next week's first all-civilian SpaceX flight. It follows the four-person crew as they prepare to orbit the Earth for 3 days. We'll take a look at your drive with the KFI in the Sky next.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. NMLS ID 128231. Equal housing lender. Not licensed in all states including New York. Offer based on loans over $250,000. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions.
What's better than a mortgage interest rate and APR in the twos? How about a no closing cost mortgage loan with an interest rate and APR in the twos? That's right. We have no closing cost loans here at Cash Call Mortgage. We pay the title, escrow, and appraisal fees. So if you're looking to save a little cash on your monthly mortgage payment, call Cash Call Mortgage today. Our quotes are always free. If your mortgage rate APR is not in the twos, Cash Call Mortgage could lower your interest rate and save you some cash. What are you waiting for? With low rates and no closing cost options, now is the time to refinance your mortgage. For a free quote to see if you qualify, go to cashcallmortgage.com or call us today. Call 800-633-0861. That's 800-633-0861. 800-633-0861.
I'm attorney Darren Kavanoki from 1-800-NO-CUFFS. Can you do the alphabet backwards? Z, Y, X, W, V. Yeah, try doing that by the side of the road. So if you get pulled over, don't wing it. Call us at 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
SoCal weather from KFI, mostly sunny with highs low 70s at the beaches to the low 100s inland, and we do have a heat advisory in effect in the Inland Empire through Friday night. This report is brought to you by 1-800-NO-CUFFS. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We're watching the 605.
You betcha, boy. Well, coming away from the 605, actually, I thought there was a problem on the transition, but it is open. So if you're west on the 60 going south 605, you'll be okay. But there is a problem a little bit farther west on the 60 itself. A little bit before Paramount, a couple of drivers have tangled there. We got one in the left lane, one the second from the left lane. Really no help. It looks like a passerby has stopped to help here, but it is backing up from the 605. Now, as you continue to the west and get closer to the 710 at Atlantic, fire department is there working with someone. They're barely to the shoulder. I'll call it shoulder, but it is kind of slow going through. After that, finally, good to East LA. Now, coming into downtown Los Angeles, we still have delays to warn you about. It's North 110, the collector lane that leads to the third off-ramp. Not the main lines, but the collector lanes are all jammed up. It's a fatality investigation. Going to be there for a while, that's for sure. So if you're coming into downtown Los Angeles, definitely get off before that. Get off around 9th or Wilshire is about the last bet into downtown, or even going east Santa Monica and then taking a surface street. I'm sure that'll get you into downtown Los Angeles. The 4-level itself, pretty good. Orange County and inland, well, nothing too unusual. A lot of morning drives slowing, that's for sure. The more on that coming up. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Baugh, KFI in the sky.
This report is sponsored by the Auto Club of Southern California. Did you know the Auto Club offers competitive rates on auto insurance? Go to AAA.com/insurance for a free quote today and find out how much you could save. Insurance through the Auto Club. Visit AAA.com/insurance today.
If you are selling your home, don't make your first call to a realtor. In fact, don't call a realtor at all. Just go to opendoor.com. I so wish I had known about opendoor.com when we were going to sell our house. Because what I didn't realize is it's not just easy as, hey, call the realtor. They come over and tell you, oh, we'll get this crew to come over and fix this and patch that. Oh, no. You do all the repairs yourself. You end up scheduling a bunch of the walkthroughs. It's awful. So if I'd gone to opendoor.com, I would have seen that opendoor.com would have taken away all the hard parts of selling a house. I wouldn't have had to do the repairs myself, or all the prep work, or have to deal with all those intrusive showings. This is the new way to sell your home. Just log on to opendoor.com, answer a few really simple questions about your house, just the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, super easy questions like that. Then they take all your information, compare it with comps in the neighborhood, and give you a real competitive offer. So go to opendoor.com and sell your home the new-fashioned way. Offer eligibility varies. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage, Inc., license number 020-61130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage, LLC in its other markets. Sell your home the new-fashioned way. opendoor.com/myoffer.
Hi, it's Erin Andrews here for my friends at Cuddly. Each year, 6.5 million animals enter rescue centers looking for a second chance at life. The community on Cuddly helps these underdogs win. Cuddly champions animal rescues and makes it easy for you to donate essential items like food, toys, medication, and even surgery to the animal of your choice. Log on to Cuddly.com and learn how you can save a furry friend today.
Leave a furry friend in need with Cuddly.
You want to sell your house or condo fast and easy? Call Seller's Advantage. They will buy your home as is for cash. Really. With Seller's Advantage, there's no realtor fees or commissions, no escrow fees, no repairs needed, no open houses, no weird strangers walking through your home. They buy your house or condo for cash. Damon and Doug from Seller's Advantage just bought a house from one of our KFI listeners. The owner wanted to sell his house. He met with a couple of real estate agents, and then he went with Seller's Advantage. He compared the numbers, and Seller's Advantage was the choice. He ended up with the same money, same bottom line, but there were no repairs, no headaches, no open houses, and no hassle. He says working with Seller's Advantage was the easiest real estate transaction he's ever had. DRE number 01961658, sellersadvantage.com. Call now for a free quote. See what your house is worth. 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-AS-IS.
You've heard the phrase 1 in a million, right? What about 1 in 500? This is Leland Smith from Service Champions Plumbing, Heating, and AC, and it takes us about 500 candidates to find that one outstanding technician. When hiring, the first thing we do is make sure they're friendly. Then they have to pass the background check and the drug test. Next, we test for the right skills and work ethic. And finally, we put them through a rigorous 14-week training course to learn the service.
One, two, twice, right there. Awesome. Oh, of course.